Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenna and this is The Covet List. So today I am in my pajamas, real comfy, except I have a full face on. For makeup deets, not any specific products, but I have orange on my eyelids, some sparkly champagne in my inner corner, and a really bright reddish purple on my outer corner. I was inspired by Lana Makeup Nails, I believe, on Instagram. She has a bunch of eye looks, and this was one that really attracted me, so I really wanted to try it. That's besides the point. Today I will be sharing my panned products, or the products I'm almost done using, and two, the products that I'm actually finished using and that I'm going to do a quick speed review on before I get rid of it, because this pile has grown way too big and we need to get started ASAP. So to start, these are my pan products, my all-time faves. This is the Too Cool for School Art Class by Rodin powder, bronzer, or contour. So this one is in the shade Modern. As you can see, I've really hit pan on this. I only have a little bit left here, and you bet I will be using it all the way up because it is so satisfying to completely hit pan and completely use up the pan. And the second is a blush. This is the blush in Guava from Laura Mercier, and it's amazing. And I've also hit pan on this. I'm sorry if it's not focusing. Okay, so I love these so much. I've actually gone through, I want to say 3 or 4 in my time of discovering Art Class by Rodin. I want to say probably, well, I've been wearing makeup a lot, so maybe I've used more, but I've switched from the original, which is more of a warmer bronzier shade, to now the Modern, which you can't see. I actually have a backup, so I'll actually just go ahead and show you what the shade is. So it's more of a lighter, not cool tone. I want to say this is more neutral, and this is compared to the original, which is a little bit more warm toned. There we go, just for shade comparison. I use this to sculpt out my cheeks, and by cheeks I just mean along my jawline because that's where my cheeks are. And I love this. As you can see, that's why I've hit pan, but I really wanted to show you guys because it's so satisfying when you've actually used the product. As you may know, products take up forever to use, and I rarely really hit pan. So when I do, you know it's great. Okay, heading on to my empties. I'm going to start off with my shampoo and conditioner. This is the Verb Ghost shampoo and conditioner. It smells amazing. I would say it's pretty simple in terms of formulation. It's not necessarily something that you would use to fix your hair strands or combat, any scalp issues. This is just as simple as it gets in terms of shampoo and conditioner from the high-end range. Now, the reason why I prefer something a little bit more high-end as opposed to something from the drugstore or high street is mainly the fragrance content. I feel that there's a lot more fragrance in the ones from the drugstore than I'm used to, and the ones that are unfragranced, for whatever reason, tends to irritate my scalp. Not to say that this doesn't necessarily irritate my scalp, but I feel more comfortable putting the conditioner on my roots as opposed to a drugstore conditioner, mainly because I've noticed that drugstore conditioners tend to weigh down my roots, while for this, I actually just washed my hair last night. It doesn't even feel like I have conditioner in my roots. Not a leave-in, I just want to point out. So if I'm saying it in a weird way, I do rinse it out in the shower. It's just a matter of putting conditioner in your roots. Okay, anyways, moving on. The next product is the CeraVe Hydrating Cream to Foam Cleanser. You will probably see this pretty often. I think I go through one of these every 1 to 2 months. I don't use this on my face though. Occasionally I do if I'm in a rush or if I don't have my cleanser, my facial cleanser in the shower. But I actually use this as a body wash and occasionally for the hair if I feel the need to. But what I've noticed is that if I use this in the hair, my hair tends to become a little bit damp. I think it's because of the glycerin and the hyaluronic acid content that is in this cleanser. It kind of bonds to my hair fibers and it starts to attract moisture. So my hair gets really damp and slightly greasy really quick if I use it as a shampoo. But I love this as a body wash. And I prefer this over other body washes because one, of the texture, it's slightly thicker, it's more creamy. And two, if it works on my face, why can't I use it on my body, you know? A lot of body washes that I've seen in the drugstore these days, they're just filled with fragrance. Either that or they're very watered down and they're very thin. So I need something a little bit more substantial. Okay. Speaking of the category of facial cleansers, because this is technically a facial cleanser, the next two empties, this first one is the Round Lab Mugwort Cream or Foaming Cleanser. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it is in Korean and I love this. It is a foaming cleanser, so it comes out as like a, not a paste, but like a thicker, creamy texture. And when you add water to it and you agitate it between your hands, it does foam up. So the reason why I love this, and I don't typically love foaming cleansers, is because it doesn't feel very drying on my skin. Typically when I use foaming cleansers, my skin feels squeaky and I don't like that feeling. And I love this cleanser because it doesn't make my skin feel that way. Now, I wouldn't say that it's not drying. I would recommend this for more if you have oily, normal to oily combination skin. Dry skin, maybe not. Dry skin, I would probably suggest either a cream cleanser or a milky cleanser as opposed to a foaming cleanser. But I love this. I already have a backup and I could use this to double cleanse. So with my double cleanse, I would use this as the first cleanse and the second cleanse, and it gets off a lot of my makeup. So love this. Another one that I actually have a backup of as well is my Isntree Green Tea Fresh Cleanser. This one is more of a jelly, liquidy gel-like texture. It feels almost slimy when you squeeze it out of the tube. It smells delicious like sweet tea. And I love it because this cleanser, because of the texture, it feels like you're doing your double cleanse in one cleanse. If you apply this dry to your face, it feels almost not oily, but because the gel is very silky and more liquidy, you're able to smooth it on your face while your face is dry. And once you add a little bit of water, it starts to slowly foam up and it removes all the makeup in one go. So if you're looking for a one and done cleanser, this is a really, really good one. And I find that my sensitive skin, my reactive skin, my combo to dry skin really, really enjoys this as well. Sometimes I do use this as a first cleanse and this as a second cleanse, or switch it around. I kind of have a lot of cleansers, so let's just stick to that category. The next cleanser that I have, this is actually more of a sample size, but I did actually order the full size version during the Sephora sale. As you may already know, this is the Tatcha The Deep Cleanse. Lots of facial cleansers. I definitely need to make a separate video on my favorite cleansers because over the years I've really gotten to know my skin type and what works for my skin, and this is one of the cleansers that really works for my skin. And as I've mentioned, if you've watched my previous video on my haul, my Sephora haul, you'll know that I had been avoiding purchasing the full size. I've been using sample sizes and point perks for a really long time, but yes, this is another empty of this cleanser. It's great. It smells amazing. I think I really enjoy this more for the sensorial experience of Tatcha. All of their products smell really, really good. but it is also a really great cleanser. It doesn't really dry out my skin and it cleanses really well. And I don't think necessarily that, there are really any cleansers that are bad per se. I think it just kind of depends on your skin type. But I really splurged this time and I did buy the full size, so I love that. Alrighty, moving on. The next product that I have is the Fleur Missing Person. This is the travel size. I did purchase the full size, which I kind of regret because I find that this actually took me about a year to use. And I think the full size is gonna take me a little bit too long. So from now on, I will probably just be purchasing travel sizes of perfumes because I like to have a variety of perfumes, and this is just one of them. I can't describe the scent to you, but my sisters kind of tell me that it smells like a granny or like a mature woman in her 40s. I don't know, but I like the smell. I think it's like gentle, florally, slightly musky. I know the cats don't like it whenever I wear this. They are not a fan. Okay, yeah, there's no more. I've actually considered just refilling this because I can actually screw off the top, but I don't know how to refill a travel size perfume. So I think maybe we'll just skip that. Anywho's, and I have one makeup product here that I've finished. This is the Merit Tinted Lip Oil in Bel Air. It's the one that has no color. So technically I do have a little bit left, but because I've used it so often, it's kind of gotten a little bit foggy. So it looks a little bit gross, so I've just kind of stopped using it. But the fact that I finished up to this much means it's pretty good. And you know what? It is. But I didn't replace it with the same lip oil because I wanted to try something else. So I actually replaced it with the House Labs lip oil, if you were curious. Okay. The next I have is the Pyeongkangyol, I can never say this, nutrition cream. I would say that this is probably one of my top creams. Not my favorite, but definitely up there, and it has a lot of product. This has 100 ml. Can you believe this is 100 ml? There's like this is, I think, 150 ml. But when you compare the sizes of product packaging, it really sets you off because you can never tell how much product is in a package based on the package. Anywho's, this is a lot of product. I've used a lot of this and I've used it often. If you are interested in the benefits of this cream or the specs, definitely check this out on any Korean website. This is a really popular cream. I would say that I would recommend this for more of a combination to oily skin type because it's not as hydrating. It's moisturizing, but I find that if I am in my apartment, which has very low humidity, for an extended amount of time without applying any sunscreen, which the sunscreens that I use are a little bit more hydrating, then my skin tends to feel a little bit dry throughout the day, even though if I touch it, it doesn't necessarily feel dry, but like it feels a little bit dehydrated. So I don't think it's necessarily the cream dehydrating me, but just that this cream is probably created for, I want to say, like Korean weather conditions, which is usually humid. So if you do live in a humid environment and you want something a little bit richer, a little bit more moisturizing, then this is great. But if you live in a dry climate and you want something more hydrating, then I would say layer this with a serum or toner or essence underneath, put this on top, and then layer another occlusive layer like a sunscreen or a night cream over this, and then you'll do fine. Other than that, I love this brand. This is probably one of my favorite K-beauty, K-skincare brands. It's very no fuss and my sensitive skin loves it. Do I have a repurchase of this? Yes, I do. Okay. Speaking of sunscreens, I have a sunscreen empty. This is the BOJ or Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Rice and Probiotics SPF 50 PA 4+. I have completely finished up this tube. and I will not be using too many more of these. Actually, I have gifted these to some of my lash clients, but I have another sunscreen favorite which I will talk about once I finish it up in its entirety and I'm able to have a solid review or solid opinion on the product. But so far, this is great. I think that the reason why, or not I know that the reason why I decided not to continue using this is because of the probiotic factor in there. If it has probiotics, technically it needs to be kept in a fridge. If it doesn't need to be kept in a fridge, it means that the probiotics, if they were alive at the time of adding to the product, is already dead. And just the thought of applying dead probiotics or dead bacteria onto my skin kind of unsettles me. And I know also that if there are bacteria in it, it could maybe cause acne. And I have noticed that whenever I do use this and I don't have a base underneath, if I'm just using this on top as a moisturizer and sunscreen, because it is very moisturizing and hydrating, I tend to get little bumps. So I don't really like that. And because of that, I will not continue using it. But to each their own, everybody's skin is different. I know this is a raved sunscreen, and I do recommend it because it's a good one and it feels really, really nice, but I will not continue using this. Okay. I have a bunch of serums and ampoules that I finished as well. Oh my goodness, so many. So actually, I became obsessed with the Beauty of Joseon brand from the sunscreen. And I think my favorite product out of the line is actually the retinol eye cream and a few of these serums, though I probably wouldn't repurchase it only because it wasn't as significant a difference for me to feel like I needed to. But I would still recommend that you try it if you are interested in trying these products. Okay. So the first one, this is the full-size version. This is the Glow Deep Serum with rice and alpha arbutin. That's what it looks like. And I also have another mini version of that. So this is the mini version and this is the full size. So I have these minis actually because it came in a set of 4. The 4th one I've actually given away because I'm not a fan of snail mucin. Snail mucin tends to break my skin out, or it makes the texture of my skin really rough for whatever reason. But here I have the calming serum with green tea and panthenol and the glow serum with propolis and niacinamide. So all of these I actually mixed simultaneously, and when I applied it to my skin, I would wake up with my skin feeling more hydrated. But I think that's really all that it kind of did for me. Maybe sometimes it would calm down my skin if I maybe had not a reaction, but if my skin was feeling red or irritated from any acne or breakouts. But luckily I haven't had too many breakouts lately, so I haven't seen too much of a change with these serums, but they're not bad. I just think that my current skin type and skin condition probably just isn't giving me the results that I want, as compared to my Isntree Spot Saver serum. That one I really enjoy. It also has mugwort. Can we see a trend here? I love mugwort. But that particular serum, I really enjoy it because I can see a physical and feel a physical difference when I use that serum. It really soothes and calms my skin down, especially if I'm having like a heat flare up or if I've slept really late. It really calms and soothes my skin. Whereas these ones, they really hydrate my skin and they give that skincare glow when I use it. But other than that, I really haven't seen much benefit to this. But again, everybody's skin is different, right? Like, you could absolutely love one of these serums. I know the propolis one is really, really, really popular amongst people that have acne. But again, I've been having pretty good skin days, which, who knows, maybe the serums have attributed to the fact that I'm having good skincare or skin days. We will never know, but let's see. Maybe next month I will break out, and let's not wish for that, but again, we don't know. And on the same lines, or on the same train tracks, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? This is another product that is hyped about and so many people love. It's super, super high-end and super expensive. I got this, I think, either as a point perk or as one of those gift with purchases offers on Sephora. This is the Solasu First Care Activating Serum. And I think this has 8 ml. But surprisingly, for 8 ml, it actually lasted me a really long time. Now, the reason why I don't enjoy this is because one of the first ingredients is alcohol. So actually, when I first apply and I let it dry, I do notice that my skin instantly feels drier, mainly because, again, I'm in a dry environment and there's barely any humidity in my condo. So because of that, I can really feel the dehydration really quick if I'm not slathering on a bunch of moisturizers or hydrating products. So this was one of the products that made me feel really dry, and I really didn't like that. It also contains ginseng, which could sometimes irritate your skin. Debatable benefits, but internal benefits, I do believe in ginseng, but external, I feel like it could maybe either irritate or maybe dry out your skin. So along with the alcohol content in this is a no-go, and I'm honestly so glad that I tried this before committing to a full size, because I was this close to purchasing the full size version from all the hype that this product gets. And I think we are down to the last product, or the second last product. This is the Skin 1004. That's what it looks like. I don't really know how to pronounce this. But this is the Madagascar Centella Ampule. And it's basically 100% Centella extract I think it's suspended in like a hyaluronic base. I'm not entirely sure, but it was super, super liquidy. And I had actually finished up a full-size version. This actually came as a gift with purchase for one of my Korean orders. And I just thought that I would try it again. This one is 30 ml, and I think the full-size version was 50 or 60 ml. But I don't really like this. I know a lot of people do because they find it really soothing, but I think it's not hydrating enough for me. Because the texture is a lot liquidier and it's not as viscous, it doesn't stick onto my skin as well as something that is more viscous. I just didn't enjoy this. Plus, Centella is such a prominent ingredient nowadays that it's almost in everything. So I don't feel like I need a separate serum or ampule that is dedicated to the Centella ingredients. And that's the same with hyaluronic acid as well. Hyaluronic acid is in every single serum, every single moisturizer, every single sunscreen that I own. I do not feel the need to have a separate serum. So that's the same with this. I'm sure it works well for a lot of people, but I have really nothing bad to say about this except that I just didn't enjoy the texture. So it's a no for me. Okay. The last item that I have here is actually a makeup sponge. This is the She Glam sponge. Oops. Okay, you guys just saw that, so that's okay. I dropped it. I'm not going to pick it up. But I've had that sponge for way too long. It's an amazing sponge. I think it's about $4 Canadian. If you guys support Shein, of course. I don't necessarily support it, but broke girls gotta eat, gotta shop. No, they don't. But still, I do enjoy the fact that it's a very, very nice sponge, and it heavily, heavily reminds me of the Beauty Blender, which I used to buy religiously until I discovered that. Now, I've actually transitioned to makeup puffs, so I don't really need sponges anymore, but I do have a sponge currently that I'm using. It's the Morphe sponge that came in the Ariel set. It's okay. I think right now I'm really preferring these makeup cushion puffs, but yes, anywho's. That is it for all of my empties as well as my pans. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about any of the items or any of the things that I have used up, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.